Hi, World History Honors parents. This is Mrs. Sewell. Welcome to Open House. We'll start off with contact information. If you ever need to get a hold of me, my email address is the best way to contact me. It's angela.sewell@ocps.net. I answer that as soon as school's out. I will answer it up till about 9:30 at night, and so you'll get a quick response there. If you need to call me, it's harder to catch me by phone, but call the school. My extension is 601-2231. I'm available generally between 7 and 8 in the morning. That's my planning period. And then after the end of the school day till about 3:30 usually. So, but again, the best way to catch me is through email. This class uses standard-based grading. I'm the only world history teacher that uses this. I have been doing this for years. I piloted this here at Boone, and I also use it in my AP Psych classes. And what it is I've broken down the learning goals for the state standards into standards so that the kids know exactly what they have to learn. So here are some standards from an earlier unit so you can kind of see what they are. So each standard tells them what they have to know. They have to be able on this standard to describe the important achievements of Charles Martel. Tells them the vocabulary they're responsible for, and then ask them essential questions that they would have to answer. So all the learning and activities that we do for Standard 1 will help them learn the information that they need. I also do Quizlets for them so they can practice the vocabulary. So I've already defined it for them. They don't have to look up words and definitions. They just have to practice it. You can see this is a huge unit. Middle Ages is 6 different standards. So I actually broke this one into 3 different tests, early Middle Ages and late Middle Ages. And so the way it works, every standard is worth 100 points. And on the test, there'll be 10 questions for that standard. And so the kids get a chance to show what they know for each standard. If they don't do well on that particular standard, they get the opportunity to retake it. They can retake one standard or all the standards if they don't do well on the test and improve their grade. Whatever their highest grade is the grade they get to keep. So there's really no loss for them on retaking. The only thing is that they have to do some retake requirements. And guess what? The retake requirements are basically answering these questions, defining these terms, and then making sure all their work related to that standard in the unit is completed. And I give them a little checklist. They have about a week to get that all done before their retake. And so they do have the chance to fix their grade. If your student is not getting an A or a B in this class, then something's wrong because this class is really easy. It's very directed. The kids know exactly what they're responsible for. And if they do the work and show up for class, they're going to learn what they need to know to be successful on the test, I promise. Now, if your student has an A or a B, you can, ditch the rest of this video because your kid knows exactly what they're supposed to do and they're doing what they need to do. So, but if your student is struggling, C, D, or F, these are some things that you can do to help them. There is really no homework in this class. And so if your student is saying, oh, it's too much work, that's not true. We do all the assignments in class, and if they don't finish, they get the opportunity to take it home. There's no penalty for turning things in late as long as they're turned in by the date of the test, because it doesn't help them for the test if they don't do the work before the test. So I'll take anything up until the date of the test and give them 100% credit. There's no deduction. So they have plenty of time to get the work done and turned in before they take the test. And so if you see zeros, they're not doing this. So monitoring your students is pretty easy in this class. On the Canvas calendar, I post a daily agenda. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I post these every single day. And it tells the student, I'm going to present this one, this is a recent one. It tells your student what they're responsible for. And so this tells them when they walk into class, here's what we're going to do today. If your child is absent, so they're sick, they're out on any extended leave, some of the kids they don't come to school every day. They can still do the work. They know exactly what we do every day. So if they were gone, on Thursday, October 7th, they just click on the Kahoot and they play the Kahoot for practice. On that date, we worked on a 1-pager. So here are the instructions in the template, they can do that at home. They don't have to be here. And if there's something like guided notes or something like that, and you don't have a printer, they can just write it on paper. It's no big deal. Here, they could create their own template. It's 3 boxes. It's not anything hard. It also tells them what the upcoming assessments are. And, you know, down there, their 1-pager was due on that Monday. So those are all ways they can keep up even if they're not here. So if they're out for any period of time, they just have to check the agendas that were posted on the days they were absent and do that work. That's a huge problem in world history, is that when they're gone, they're like, well, I was absent. Well, you're still responsible for the work, so they've got to make it up. And they'll come in and they'll ask, Miss Sewell, what did I miss yesterday? And I'll say, where would you find that? Check your agenda. And so everything is there for them. So if your child is somebody that is sick or just has attendance issues, just make sure they're doing the work while they're at home. And you could do this class virtually. It's really set up for that because, you know, we've had virtual classes in the past. So that is the Canvas calendar. So they can access that at any time and they can get anything. They can't say to you, well, I don't have a copy of that. Sure you do. You can get it from the calendar anytime. Canvas grades is going to show you if they're doing the work and how they're doing with mastery and how they scored on tests. Skyward's where their official grades are, so that's going to show you. My Skyward updates every night, so in the middle of the night, so it's very accurate as long as the grades are put in. Also, students have a notebook. They should have a notebook. We spend so much time organizing the notebook. Every paper I give them has a page that it goes on, and we go through the pages. At the end of the unit, we'll review those pages and they staple them in, they glue them in. So all their work is in one place. So when they take that into course exam at the end of the year, everything is there. So it makes it easy for them to study. Take a look at your child's notebook. If you want to know if they're not doing well in this class, I can guarantee you, A, they probably don't have a notebook. B, there's a blank notebook or lots of blank pages. Nothing should be blank because we do it all here in class. So if you're seeing blank pages, then they're not doing their work. I mean, it's probably evident from Canvas, but it's all in the notebook. And so at the end of a quarter, I will drop their lowest grade if they have their notebook in order and their work is completed. And this past quarter, just so you know, only about 10 kids submitted a notebook. So, you know, now maybe your student's doing great and they don't need that organizational tool, but there are a lot of kids that really need it and they get a bonus for it. I do notebook checks, and so there's a notebook grade every couple of units, and then they get to drop their lowest score. So there's no reason we spend so much time on it. There's no reason they don't have a notebook that's up to date. And so that's something you can check regularly. It's probably the easiest thing to check. Just say, hey, show me your world history notebook. All right, what do they need to do to be successful in my class? They just need to come to class. That's a huge issue. If they take the notes and they complete the practice assignments that we do in class, they use their time efficiently, then they're going to have no homework and they're going to have a good grades. Any assignments they don't finish in class, they just finish it as homework, and then they will be they'll be done and they won't have any grade penalty as long as it's in before the test. And then they practice the vocabulary and Quizlet that I've already made for them. Remember, they get to take retakes on any assessments, and that usually happens about a week after the grade is posted. So they've got a week to complete any retake requirements. The retake requirements are simply the work they were supposed to do in the first place. It's nothing strenuous or hard. If you have any questions, there's a Padlet link right under this video in Canvas. Come in to the Padlet and then you can ask me questions live or just send me an email and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.